Alright, so we are here today with Weijia's Reef. So this is Weijia over here. Weijia, say hi to everybody.
Hello, welcome.
Okay, so Weijia, can you share with us your tank dimensions for the whole display to the sun? Yeah.
Okay, this is a peninsular tank, so its length is 5 feet, 2.5 feet width. Then I think the height is about 50 cm. So yeah, this is actually my first proper reef tank, I would say. Yeah, with a sump. My previous reef tank is really experiment without sump and things like that. This is where the water comes down. Alright, so this is the roller fleece. I actually packed this area with all my medias. So I use a lot of the spheres, then the blocks and things like that. I haven't touched it ever since day one. So it is really a lot of fireworms and a lot of blister worms and all these things inside. So I tried it once with my hand without wearing gloves in. It's not a good idea. So basically, this is where the media is. Then I have the skimmer. I'm running a very simple bubble Magnus reactor to run roller force. Yeah, that's about it. I'm using the Orca cubes. I'm a big fan of this product. I really think that it works very well because I used to keep fish only, and back then I think it was about 30 fishes, and I feed a lot. I feed like 3-4 times a day, and just one full pack of the Orca cubes can lower my nitrate to less than 10. So I'm a strong believer in this product. Yeah. This is where I have 2 return pumps. One goes to the chiller and back. The other one goes through a UV. So the UV is also something that I strongly believe in. I'm running on quite a low flow here. So the main aim is to keep parasites out because I used to do QT. But after a while, really, it is too much work. So yeah, I'm relying on this. And I do feel that it works. Okay, I don't do water change. Yeah, so I think the last water change is about 1.5 years ago. This tank is currently slightly more than 2 years old. 2 years and 2 months about there. Yeah. I do water change based on, sometimes when I share fracs with people or people get some fracs from me, then I take out water. So I just top out a little bit of salt water. So it's really minimal. Yeah, so I don't really see that as water change. I'm dosing all for Reef, so just purely all for Reef. I started off with the product because it's easy to use. Then after a while, it's working and I got lazy. But I'm dosing about slightly more than 150 ml per day. I still get casualties. I think it's something that you can't avoid when keeping SPS. I have colonies that do well and grow so big for 1.5 years, and one day they just decide to STN. Yeah. So I think this is something that cannot avoid. But so far, touch wood, so far so good. Yeah, I do somehow my weird logic try to convince myself that when I don't do too much changes, it's stable. So yeah, I do ICP maybe once every 6 months, just to keep track of the trace. Or sometimes when I see something not doing so well, my torches not opening out so nicely or what, then I'll go and do a test. Yeah, I did have some scares before. I think the highest was my phosphate went up to 0.75.
Wow.
Yeah, but surprisingly, the SPS were okay. It was the hammers that closed up a bit. So I went to test and I realized that, oh, my phosphate is actually 0.75 because I haven't changed my raw phos for I think 3 or 4 months. I keep my KH around 7 to 7.5 about there. So usually it's about 7.2, 7.3 average. Magnesium about 1,300. 1350 usually about there average. Calcium about 430. Yeah, all for Reef. But I have a canister of Red Sea KH powder on standby. So sometimes if I realize that the KH goes out, then I'll use that to correct. But that one is purely on standby.
Wow. Wow.
Not dosing every day. Using 3 wired lights. So this one, I really love these lights. It's from Jude. He's a local reefer. So did 3 of these sets and 2. I recently added these 2 bars at the side because I realized because my tank is quite wide. I realized that the side is not getting enough light. So I added 2 Ofix Aura 120. But these Auras are custom made. So I made it full UV. Actually, I started the hobby telling myself and I was telling my wife, I will never go into SPS. Because, yeah, for me, I'll still say this, I'm still more of a fish person. I mean, if you ask me fish, corals, be it LPS, SPS, I still like fishes more. So I really started telling myself that no lah, SPS too fun really, you know. So many things to take care of water, so many things to do. I just want to do fishes. But I think a few things, the colors, then also the challenge lah. The challenge itself is what I think keeps a lot of SPS keepers going. You know, having able to grow them from fracs to colonies and things like that, or certain SPS that very difficult to keep but you manage to keep it. Yeah, that sense of satisfaction is different. All-time favorites SPS. One of this is the, I think they call it the Flaming Sunrise. Yeah, I got this about 6 months ago. So far, so good. Touch wood. I recently fracked it actually into 3 smaller colonies. I really like the Spatulatas. I have 2 colonies here. They are different colors. One is a bit more gold. The other one is a bit more rainbow in a way. I have another frack there. Oh, and a rainbow loom. I think this is I think ever since I think this was the first Bali aquarium shipment that came in. So I got a frack actually. This whole colony actually grew from a 3 cm frack. So this is something that I really like. This yeah. And I have a very big plating SPS over there. Same, it grew from a frack, a small colony less than fish size into that plate. So yeah, these few are the ones that I really like. Actually, a lot. I really like most of them. Those that I don't like, I tend to really snip or remove the whole colony. So yeah, I do rescape quite a bit. Yeah, every time I feel that a certain colony is which I don't like as much, is taking up too much space, I tend to rescape. I think it's almost 1.5 years in this tank. So it grew from a 3 cm frac to this almost 2 palm size colony.
Never cut it before.
Sorry?
Never cut it before, or?
I cut a few times. People ask for fracs. In fact, I have fracs there. People ask for fracs. I did cut it before. But this rainbow loom and that big plating colony over there is the fastest growing. So they are both about the same age in my tank, about 1.5 years now. But however, I have fracs that even after keeping for almost 1 year, they grow less than 2 cm. Yeah. So sometimes I also cannot explain. Some fracs, they tend to expand very big. They encrust all over the rocks, but they don't grow in height. They don't grow in branch. So that is the part that I think very difficult to explain. Definitely, I feel is the smooth skin acros. The deep water species. Yeah. They can do well for. I mean, of course, some you put in 1 week later turn white already. Yeah, very fast one. Maybe next day even. Some of them will just STN within a day, half a day. But some of them can last for maybe 2-3 months. You see signs of encrusting, then suddenly one day it just gone. Yeah, and very hard to save. I feel that the smooth skin ones, the deep water ones, are those that harder to frack and grow. Yeah. The fracks don't survive easily, I feel. My most recent addition, I put it in June, so it's been about 4 or 5 months now. It's the Ventralis Antius. So there is a pair. Alright, I actually got 3 of them. One didn't do so well during the quarantine phase, already not so good. But the 2 of them are doing very well now. They are eating petlets, and I really love it. The male colors are like fantastic. This is, I think, one of the nicer Antius around already, minus all the extremely rare ones. Yeah, so this is one of my favorites. I really like the Rigo because Rigo Angel is one of my favorite fish, but I mean, before the captive bred ones come out, they tend to be very difficult to keep. So they can do well for a few months and then suddenly one day they just fall sick and die. Yeah, so this rigger has been with me the longest. It's almost 2 years now. Then definitely the Achilles tank. Yeah, this is one of the fishes that I contemplated putting in for very long. I've always wanted an Achilles tank. I think the first time I saw it, it was back then it was less than $200. I think it was about slightly less than $200. Then with the Hawaii ban, then with COVID, everything, I think when I got it, the price range was around $700 to $800. Yeah, I got it smaller. So I really like that fish because when I got it, the tail spot was like maybe maximum 2 cm. And right now the tail spot is quite big. So again, satisfaction. I have a clownfish that is like extremely expensive. It's just a single black storm. But this black storm, I think it came as a so-called grade A kind of black storm. My wife actually picked this fish, and it's like the most expensive clownfish I heard recently. I paid almost $200 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, but this clownfish coming to 3 years old now.
Okay.
Yeah, from my old tank transferred over here. Fishes. Oh yeah, I love the China Rust.
Okay.
I think rarely see people keep this.
Yeah.
I really like this because to me, one of my favorite fishes is like the banded angel. So I think this colorway is a bit the cheaper, similar cheaper version of the banded angel. Yeah, my wife calls it the banded rust. Also another recent addition is the multi-bar, the captive bred ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I love angels. I've always liked angel fishes, but some of them really just too difficult. So I'm really very glad that Singapore is bringing in all the captive bred versions, easier to keep, and really they are quite fantastic. Because I tried the wild caught versions, they really don't fit easily. Okay, unpopular comment. I value my angels more over the corals. From experience, I have flame angels, I have regal, watanabes, which are the Genicanthus family, which are thought to be quite safe, but they actually do nip. At least for my case, they actually nip on the SPS. I have the multi-bar angel. Yeah. So for me, experience-wise, Euphilia is very safe. That one is confirmed safe. Hammer, fox spawn, torch, very, very safe. What are not safe is your brain corals, your lobo, your scolies, and pata is no. I tried. I once got a very nice bleeding apple scolie. I put inside within 5 minutes. My regal come and test. So yeah, scolies and pratas cannot. But I think the one that they like most is actually akens.
True.
Akens is like it's like their shark fin. Yeah. So that one finished very fast. I actually have some meaty corals inside that they weren't doing very well. So I think the angels started feeding on them. So for me, because I value my angels over the corals, right? So I just leave them as food. So the skeletons are actually at the bottom somewhere. Yeah. So they do need SPS, but surprisingly, each of them have a specific one that they like to nip. So some SPS they really don't touch. So those are the SPS. Later you can see that the PE, the poly extension is very nice. But those that they tend to nip, then of course when the lights are on, you won't see any PE. But for me, I'm still okay to not see PE because you still can see the colors. I really like to just sit back, relax. To me, the hobby should be non-stressful. So minimal maintenance, minimal whatever, minimal hands going into it is the best for me. So, but then I don't really have much space, and because it's a peninsular tank, if I put a lot of frac racks around, then it becomes very unsightly also. So I will want a frac tank, but I think the biggest thing that I want to change is really, if for those people with big tanks, I really think that at the end of the day, the best way to go chilling the tank is compressor. Unless you are running the aircon 24/7. Yeah, I know a few people who do it, but cannot. The electricity bill, my wife will kill me. If I were to redo this whole system, I think I would definitely try to install a compressor, then put a drop-in coil. Yeah. I will not. I don't think I will change the method I'm running to maintain the water parameters. I will still go for all for Reef because it's really, to me, the easiest. Yeah, the easiest and the simplest one. I think a lot of SPS keepers, they will say you have to go for calcium reactor. But then for me, honestly, I don't know much about calcium reactor. I tried to read up on it once and it's very complicated. So I think it's something that if I don't understand, I don't really want to try it blindly. Unless I really feel that, oh, my current method is not good enough, then I will explore another one. Yeah. I haven't been really adding a lot of corals recently, largely due to space. And yeah, but I think the SPS colors that are coming out, especially the tenuis, I'm a big fan of tenuis. But for some reason, tenuis also happen to be the more challenging SPS for me. I don't know why. I think a lot of reefers say that tenuis is like, they classify it as one of the beginner SPS. But for me, I don't know why my tenuis colonies don't seem to do well. So they do well for like 6-7 months, color up, then suddenly they just die. So I've been seeing a lot of very, very nice tenuis colors in the recent shipments. Yeah. So if I have space and of course a bit more spare cash, then I will want to invest in a few more tenuis colonies. This Hayang always bringing in all the very exotic fishes that really tempt me. Yeah, you know, all the tiger, kingi and all this. I'm a big fan of angels now. If you ask me, of course, if I have the space, the time and the money, I will really do a fish only tank, SPS tank, then I have one reef safe tank, yeah. So that I can keep all the different types of fishes. Yeah. But fishes, yeah, I think there are a few that I really, really like, but they also come with quite a high price tag. I think this hobby requires a bit of resilience, especially at the start, because I had tank crashes that 30 overfish die within 2 days. I had 2 occasions of velvet wipeouts previously. So I think there was a point of time that I just sat at this exact location staring at my old tank, the fish only tank, and wow, like a bit tearing already. Really just lost, don't know what to do. See them die one by one. But I think after a bit of read up, so it takes that resilience to really carry on to learn and read up, hear from people. But very importantly, you have to try it yourself. I think the best way to learn in this hobby is actually trying it out yourself. Yeah, it's definitely not just buy, put inside, then voila, you know, all these things come out. I won't say I'm very experienced, to be honest. There are a lot of things that I still don't know, and if I have the time to find out, I would really want to go and read up on it. Yeah, I think I only reef for about 3 years about there, and I started with really fish only. So like I said, this is my so-called first proper coral tank, reef tank.
Alright, so with that said, we would like to thank Vijay for showing us his amazing SPS dominated tank today. Yeah, so if you guys have any things you guys want to ask, I will leave his Instagram page below, so you can DM him to ask him any things you want to know. He has quite amazing stuff on his DM, also all his photos on his IG, on all his SPS, so you can actually take a look at the description down below. So big thanks to Weijie, and yep, so we'll see you guys soon on the next video. Bye bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye bye.